Hello and welcome, everyone. We're here live with the Healing Hope team. I'm Cindy Mirapole, and I'm a registered occupational therapist, a certified health coach, and I'm here today with a special guest speaker, Herschel Lazaroff. Happy Herschel. And he has a website, happyherschel.com. Am I correct?
Yep.
Okay, great. And today's topic is the power of positivity, well-being and healing through positive thoughts. And Herschel has helped me personally for more than 10 years, 20 years?
20.
Wow. And he first helped me when I was hospitalized and with a matter that I wasn't able to heal. And when I met him, he helped get to the source of the issue. And right now I am clear with everything. And my big thanks goes to Herschel and healing on all levels, spiritually, mentally, physically, removing blockages that sometimes lead to us being not well and to diseases. And Herschel has a unique system of well-being to help you achieve your goals and to actualize your full potential on all levels. So welcome, Herschel. And Herschel could be reached at, what's your phone number, please?
443-831-0932. 443-831-0932. And it also happyherschel.com, happyherschel.com.
And I know how much personally the mind-body connection plays a role. So Herschel, please elaborate.
Thank you, Cindy. It's nice being here. Positivity has its advantages. There's a whole realm of well-being in psychology called psychoneuroimmunology, how the mind impacts our well-being. Thoughts are positive, and let's first define what's a positive thought, what's a positive anything, versus what's the opposite of bad or negative. It's an outlook. The outlook is predicated on a few things, knowing that everything really comes from good, comes from God. God is all good. And there's an old saying in Yiddish, translated equals, think good, it'll be good. When you couple thinking good and it'll be good with knowing it's all good, that sets an inner tone for well-being. In this mindset, there's the concept of framing everything in a positive outlook. Being predisposed to treating people nicely, that also helps. Judging people positively, that also helps. Some people come to this world and you look at them, you will say, oh, what a happy person, or what a down person. There's something called the four humors. I'm not talking about the Marx Brothers. There are actually five, or four temperaments. Some people are a little on the melancholy side, some are more calm, some are irritable, and some are just up. However, we all have the ability to choose how you want to feel and how you want to think. Thinking in a positive state of mind, which means I feel this inner sense of worthfulness. I have what to live for. I feel my life is meaningful. I go to work every day and I want to do what I'm doing. Yes, people may not for all kinds of reasons. I want to package this in a way so everyone has a sense of how we can approach this in a very positive way. Getting up in the morning, thank God that I'm alive and I can put my feet on the ground and be thankful for all that you have. That starts us on the path called being joyous. I learned something years ago from one of our presidents. You probably know who he is. And he says, my fellow Americans, right? And actually, maybe Nixon. Actually, I want LBJ, so forget that. LBJ, let's be joyous. Let's be joyous, my fellow Americans, okay? And that starts us on the path of being up. Being basimcha, being up, being joyous, sets a tune for everything. How you serve God, how you serve other people. Yes, there are times to be sad. There are sad events. However, once you predispose yourself to a mindset of framing everything in a positive, say, even how you think, how you speak, and how you act. So what happens when you don't feel like acting in such a way, or you can't move yourself? You simply mention to yourself, talk out loud, it's not how I feel, it's how I function. I'll move myself to do something. You can move yourself and then choose to move yourself in a positive way and look at the future in a positive way. How? Without worrying what's going to happen next. Years ago, I met someone in my practice, and Herschel was infertility. And though she had a miscarriage in the beginning of her marriage, nothing happened for 18 years. And when I came back to visit her shortly after my first trip out west, she was pregnant. And I said, what do you think influenced you the most? She got pregnant in 2 weeks, actually, after 18 years, nothing. I told her, think it'll be good. She showed me everywhere in her place, on the ceiling by her bed, on her refrigerator, front door, everywhere. Think good, it'll be good. Wow. So I told her, you thought good and you had a child, you know? And by the way, this child is now already married, living in the Midwest somewhere. So these good things do happen. There's a story about someone who was in Auschwitz, and he kept telling his friend every day, we're coming out of this. We're not going to be left here. We're going to be emancipated. After a couple of years, the guy couldn't hear it anymore. One day, this fellow, I think it was Friedman, maybe, I think he lives in Manchester or somewhere in England. He and his friend were in the gas chamber, and his friend said to Friedman, where are we going to go now? Do you still think we're going to come out? And he said, yes, we are going to come out. The guy was a tall guy, big guy, and near the front door, and they could not close the door on the gas chamber. What did they do? They schlepped him out. They took him out. He lived, and he told the story over, and it's told over and over again since emancipation from the death camps. And he was in Auschwitz. So we can't control our situations. What we can control is how we respond to life's ups and downs, called exigencies, vicissitudes, imponderables. When something happens, you can stop. You can stop and ponder how I can turn what's occurring in my life into a positive picture, or at least see the good in it. It may not be apparent one step, two step. How many steps down the road do you have to go in order to experience the good? Only God knows. However, at some point down the road, you can anticipate good happening, and it will manifest. There was a client of mine had me park in front of her house years ago. And I called her and said, there's no parking space. She said, you know what? I'm really good at finding a parking space. You take mine. And she gave me a blessing to get into the space. So she got out. I noticed her car was smaller than mine. And her car took up exactly the space of she was in. Somehow I parallel parked, didn't hit the car in back of me, didn't hit the car in front of me. Talk about positive thinking, anticipation. So people have a sense of, I'm blessed, I'm not blessed. We're all blessed on some level. The way you think in terms of, there is let's say, a law of attraction. Attract to your life the positive through a positive mental attitude. And that will pull you through every single day of your life. Questions, anybody?
Yeah, I have a question. Let's say you have things in the past or present that you want to overcome. what are some of the techniques? I know you've done meditation with me, breathing, positive visualization, and energy work. Can you elaborate a little bit on the
Sure,
techniques people can use themselves and how they can further work with you?
absolutely. Now, we're getting into perhaps murky waters because the past for some people could be pretty horrific, right? Traumas, incarceration, addictions, or just, I didn't get my favorite flavor ice cream because they ran out. It depends on what it is. We can reframe the past. The fact that it happened is our history. However, it doesn't have to be your history going forward by recharacterizing what happened. Yes, we can go for help and superimpose something positive. This is the beauty of neuroplasticity, and change the event in our mind. There's a concept called teshuva. It means repentance. It means returning ourselves to that setting that God gave us as our initial way of interacting with God, the environment, people, right? And so the only thing in the universe that can erase the past is called teshuva. I'm sorry, did it. Forgive me. I won't do it again. However, there's a process we can go through to remove the past and its memory. Some people require more work, deep meditations, and even many modalities work with this. There's psychedelics seem to work under professional guidance, other therapies that deal with emotional blocks. We do not have to be hindered by what happened in the past. However, we're the author of our future, and we can delineate how we want to look and what we want to do. And in spite of the past, we can rise to a new occasion.
Also, you've worked at an energetic level and even saying that you can change the person's DNA of their cells and so forth. Can you explain that?
There's a concept called spiritual DNA. There's DNA, right? There's our DNA code and how cells come together, how we form. And there's something called spiritual DNA. Those are called the mitos. In certain realms, they're called the chakras or nerve plexes, and there's 7 of them. And when you take 2 at a time, you get 49 facets of our personality. And when you perfect 1 at a time, how you deal with yourself in all internal realms, that re-characterizes that spiritual DNA, which directly is related to how you feel. It's a jumpstart, so to speak. By the way, interestingly enough, in Hebrew, the word for one who's not well, right, a hola, equals 49. When you add 1, which makes it 50, and have in mind we're going to a realm called the 50th gate, in that realm, it's inconceivable to be anything but vibrant. However, staying there is up to us. We can go there for a journey and it lasts for a moment or for a while. It's up to us and how we deal with ourselves, people around us, and how we connect to God and bringing the will of God in terms of how He delineated a system of well-being for us. Those are called the mitzvahs, connection. Connect to God, and somehow that has an amazing ability to provide a basis for wellness. Yes, we can connect to God in all kinds of ways, and somehow there is still illness in the world. I read something recently, a meme, of taking the I out of illness and replace it with we, and we get wellness. When you have people there helping you, you feel heard and you interact in a positive way, and together people heal better, faster, with love and kindness and understanding. And healing also occurs when a person feels heard. Do you hear me? I hear you.
And through prayer, of course, also
Sure.
that's important, in blessings, which I know that you do. And I know you call yourself the kosher healer. If you can explain what that means, because I know
Sure.
it's not just for people that are Jewish, but for
Sure.
everyone.
Everyone loves, right, a kosher pastrami sandwich, right? And when I first came to New York in 1989, oh no, sorry, 1979, in New York, there's a big billboard, right, that said with all kinds of different faces on it and colors and faces, and it said, "You don't have to be Jewish to enjoy so and so's rye bread." I forget the name of the guy with the rye bread. So kosher means fit, right? So this is fit for all. It's a fit for all people. Everyone's unique, and in every session that we encounter together, there are unique things that come up and are altered or dealt with, or recommendations. That's unique. The overall process is fit for all.
And how is your sessions and healing different or unique? And how do they speed up the healing? Because you sent me pictures recently of somebody who was burned and you helped him heal, like, very rapidly. Can you explain how you
Yes,
achieved that?
sure. Once internal blocks are removed, or made aware of them, and we deal with the spiritual DNA, and one does homework, that accelerates the healing process.
Even
And
physical healing?
yeah, you know what I've found is, even though conceptually what we offer is for all people, one needs to feel, no matter where you go, right? Whoever you choose, is this person going to heal me? Can this person help? By the way, only God heals. Everyone that's in this world, whether whatever the title may be in the healing arts, ultimately God heals. Ani Hashem Rafa'echa. I am God that heals you. And people are given license to help in that process. So one needs to feel comfortable with the person, right? With someone else or with me. And it will say, based on what I've heard, what I feel, right? What I sense, what I see, I would like so and so to help me in this journey of mine.
And the healing is at an energetic level. That's what I'm trying to also establish, that you can do this long distance. You don't have to do this in person necessarily.
Correct. We're all connected anyway. As a famous, concept in the holographic universe theory, what happens inside of you or me is called local reality. Between you and me is non-local reality. We are all non-locally connected. You are, according to the Baal Shem Tov, you are where your thoughts are. So we with someone, whether it's 5 feet in front of someone or 5,000 miles away, we're connected. And for many people, Zoom sessions are powerful.
And also, you have to visualize and think of yourself well, even prior to you feeling totally healed, correct?
But again, it's part of a process. And, there's so many studies done with a sense of purpose and happiness. Why do you think so many people turn to comedy shows to heal? And there's one woman, I think, I'm not sure her name is Fran Bopper, is famous for it. She has something called Comedy Heals,
Mhm.
and it works. And so you can turn on your various fun-filled videos or movies and laugh yourself to well-being too. That helps for some people. Again, there's no one set formula, and it's a matter of, there's an algorithm of the right people, so to speak, or the right messengers that will give you the inspiration, the jumpstart. What we do here, my preference is referring to it as a jumpstart.
Okay. I know that you can
Energetic.
usually be very effective in just a few sessions and not have to go into the whole history and the story and this and that, which I think is very beneficial to people, to cut to the chase, to get at the source of whatever the issues are.
That's true. There's the concept. Everything has a source. The goal is coming. What is the source?
Hmm. And I know people can achieve that through working with Herschel.
Correct.
And again, I want to thank you. And if you
You're
want to
welcome.
do just a short blessing for all today
Yeah,
for
sure.
health
All
and
those that are
wellness.
here, all those that are present, you're a blessing for well-being, a sense of purpose, happiness with you, happiness with your spouse, happiness with what you do, and to feel connected to God, and and the blessing for low overhead.
What
Live
about
within your
those that
means.
don't have a spouse? And
I give a blessing for those that are seeking a spouse, to find the one that God has appointed for you. And may everybody
amen.
be blessed going through the day always. By the way, as an aside, a few years ago, I spoke a couple times at the JLI Jewish Learning Institute National Retreat, giving talks on happiness. And the first one, I created all these buttons: happy and holy, happiness happens, happiness around the clock, make my day smile. What was the favorite button? I practice prophylactic positivity.
Okay.
Everybody, let's all practice together. I practice prophylactic positivity.
Okay. Thank you so much,
You're
Herschel.
welcome.
And again,
Blessings.
how can people reach you?
443 831 0932. 443 831 0932. And the site, happyherschel.com. HappyHerschel.com. And looking
And
forward,
thank you. Go ahead.
looking forward.
And looking forward to future sessions with you and broadcasts with healinghopelive.com. This is Cindy Mirapole with healinghopeteam.com. And thank you for joining us today. And I could be reached at 786-457-6832. And thank you once again, Herschel. And thank you
You're welcome.
all for joining.
Great day, everybody. All the best.